Okay, time to talk about the Sonic movies. After the success of the first film in 2020, sequels were quickly greenlit, and despite what you think of these films, there's no denying that they had a significant impact on the modern Sonic fandom. Today, we're going to be talking about the three current Sonic movies. Usually in my reviews, I talk about one thing. However, I've been on a bit of a movie kick lately after it was announced that Christian Bale would be playing Amy in Sonic 4. So I thought it would be a good time to talk about the movies at last. So without further ado, let's go back to 2020. When Sonic 1 first came out, it not only revolutionised the Sonic series, but the video game movie genre as a whole. Technically, Detective Pikachu did that as it released a year prior, but Sonic 1 was really the kickstart to things. Acting wise, this movie is really solid. Ben Schwartz is a fantastic Sonic voice, making him sound like a young adolescent, which is usually what Sonic is portrayed as. His performance reminds me a lot of Jason Griffith's time as Sonic, which is arguably the best Sonic voice, fight me on that. James Marsden is good as Sonic's best friend and father figure Tom Wachowski, as is Tika Sumpter as Mazzy. From what little we see of him in this movie, Tom Butler is good as Commander Walters. I think the character was meant to be based on Abraham Tower from the main series, but wasn't called that because it wasn't confirmed what the commander's name was at the time. Adam Pally is good as Wade, Lee Matchdo is good as Agent Stone, Natasha Rothwell is good as Rachel, and all of those characters bring comedy gold to the series. But undeniably, the best performance in the movie is Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. It is so fitting that they would bring in an over-the-top actor for such an over-the-top character, and it works seamlessly. This has definitely made its way up there as one of my favourite versions of Robotnik, and it might even be my favourite Jim Carrey character. Animation-wise, this movie is really solid. The drones look alright, as does Sonic himself, and he needed to, especially compared to that original character design. Ugh. I like the backstory they gave Sonic in this movie. It's admittedly really sad. Though I have to wonder if it was like a last minute thing, because it plays out differently in the movie than it did in the trailer. In the trailer, Sonic seems to have spent his whole life on his homeworld before coming to Earth. In the movie, however, he was sent away as a kid to save his power. I have to wonder why they changed this actually, it's really a mystery. All that aside though, the movie itself is just kind of mid. Like, ignoring the fact that it's a Sonic film, it's another live action CGI hybrid, of which we have many of. It's also a road trip movie, of which has also been done before, like in Hop, which also stars James Marsden. I definitely appreciate the film for starting the franchise, but there are definitely better Sonic films. Like the next one. Sonic 2 was such a big step up for the franchise, as was 2022 as a whole. We got Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Origins, Merge of Characters, Sonic Prime, the list goes on. The movie actually feels like a Sonic film, with the gang teaming up to find the Master Emerald and taking down Robotnik. We're introduced to Tails and Knuckles in this movie. Tails, once again being voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and Knuckles voiced by Idris Elba. Now, I'll admit, I was a bit harsh on Tails when the film first came out, as it released a few years after Forces where Tails was portrayed as a coward, and I immediately got that impression when he said to Sonic he wasn't as brave as him. But after this latest rewatch, I now see that that's what they were going for. This is supposed to be a Year 1 Tails, one that's just meeting Sonic for the first time. Of course he'll have self-doubt, and after going on this big adventure with him, he learns to trust himself in big situations in the final battle. A full circle character arc, if you will. Knuckles got a big improvement in this. No longer is he the ego-driven idiot he was in the later games. Now he's back to being a strong, fearless warrior from the early years, and Idris Elba's performance really complements it. The updated backstory they gave him really helps add more weight into his and Sonic's rivalry than in the games. Like, they had a good dynamic, sure, but a somewhat flat one. In the movies, however, Sonic is somewhat responsible for Knuckles losing everything, so of course Knuckles has a grudge. As teased in the last movie, Robotnik gets his full video game look now. He even gets a new Eggmobile. Robotnik is absolutely at his worst in this film, tricking Knuckles into finding the Master Emerald just so he could build a giant robot of himself and destroy the entire world. Like, yeah, he's done worse in the games, but in the movies this is just borderline psychotic. We've got a new human character in this as well. Randall, played by Shamar Moore, and I swear to God, whenever I see this guy in anything, he's always playing some kind of Asian character. Seriously, why is he so obsessed with those roles? Tom and Maddie feel more or less the same, which is good, though I have to say Rachel's far funnier in this film than she was in Sonic 1. Now, as much as I love Sonic 2, it's unfortunately not without fault. The whole wedding subplot of the film really takes away from the main plot, and just feels so unnecessary. Gunn taking in Sonic for causing havoc in Seattle also felt kinda wrong. Like, if the whole point of taking him in because he trashed the place, then what was their excuse for the first film? This scene exists, enough said. Also, the ending is complete bullshit. So, after Sonic defeats Robotnik as Super Sonic, oh yeah, he's a thing in this film now, he sends the Chaos Emerald away in the sky. and Knuckles is still able to rebuild the Master Emerald, and I'm just like, well, is the Emerald powerless now? See, that's what I thought. But then in Sonic 3, they show the Chaos Emeralds are somehow back inside the Master Emerald, and Sonic is still able to turn Super. And I'm just like, what? How? Like, he sent them away in the last film. How are they back inside the Emerald? Anyway, Sonic 2 was a massive step up from the first film. It does a lot of things right, and it feels more like a Sonic film. Following this, the Sonic movie series would go quiet for 2 years. Then the Knuckles show happened. Okay, now, I don't hate the Knuckles show as much as other people do. I actually happen to like 3 of the 6 episodes in this, though I do see why it's hated on so much. The main problem with the show is that it focuses on Wade and not Knuckles. Like, I guess it. Knuckles' character arc was complete in the second film, but in a show called Knuckles, you expect the main character to be Knuckles. As we all know, making the comic relief the main character is a bad idea because it gets old fast, and well, he has a few funny scenes, but overall Wade is very annoying in this show. His family I also could have done without. His mum has no character, his sister is an absolute psycho, and his dad is an asshole. The main plot of the show is that Knuckles and Wade go on a road trip to Reno so they can enter a bowling tournament, while these 2 agents are hunting Knuckles down so they can sell his power on the black market or something. Wade wants to win the tournament to prove he's not a loser, and Knuckles tags along because he was told by Patrick and Mac to take Wade on as his apprentice. So, right off the bat, our 2 mains have goals that we want to see them achieve. Though, we don't really feel anything for them because they spend so much screen time trying to make us laugh with this shitty humour. The villains of the show are mediocre at best. The agents are fine, Jackson Clare is fine, Pistol Pete's an asshole, and the buyer had some real potential that they just chose not to take advantage of. Oh, and don't even get me started on the show's take on Patrick and Mac. Why has the bloodthirsty, power-hungry leader of the Echidna tribe been reduced to a comedic, funny old man? Ugh. I will say though, Christopher Lee gives a good performance, but this just wasn't Patrick and Mac. I'm sorry. A far cry from his time in Adventure. I didn't find the Knuckles show terrible or anything, but it's definitely the weakest of the movie series. Anyway, following this, Sonic 3 happened. The movie is a loose adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2, which, if you're making a Sonic movie, that is a perfect game to base it on. Okay, positives first. This film has the best action, the best music, the best cinematography, and probably the best animation. The Super Sonic vs Super Shadow fight was absolutely breathtaking. Fans have waited 23 years to see that, and yeah, it was worth it. Shadow is voiced by Keanu Reeves, an absolute legendary casting, and Gerald is also played by Jim Carrey. But of course, as great as all this is, the movie is not without faults. The movie doesn't really know when to slow down. Like, we got a ton of action scenes, but not a lot of slow emotional scenes, which, I mean, we have a few, but they're short length. The movie also doesn't have a lot of humour, which, for an adaptation of SA2, I guess that's fine, but come on, this is a Jim Carrey movie, why am I not laughing? This one's just kind of a nitpick, but how did Gerald know Robotnik's size? He had the suit pre-made for him god knows how long ago, and it somehow fits him perfectly. Was it a lucky guess? I don't even know. Me and my friends are very divisive about these films. Some of them say Sonic 3 is the best, some of them say Sonic 2 is the best. As for me, I've been very vocal. I think Sonic 3 has a lot of cool parts, but at the same time, Sonic 2 has some stuff over it, and I just can't decide which one is better. I will say this though, Sonic 2 definitely has the best ending theme of the 3 films. I love Run It, and I love Speed Me Up, but Stars in the Sky takes the crown for me. So, overall, these 3 films are pretty solid. I'd give Sonic 1 a 6 out of 10, and Sonic 2 and 3 a 8 out of 10 each. The Knuckles Show gets a 5 out of 10. It's pretty mediocre. As of recording this part of the video, the first teaser for Sonic 4 had just released, and features Jim Carrey narrating it, confirming he'll be returning for the 4th film. I trust that the writers could make something great out of the 4th film. It is being based on Sonic CD, which has a very interesting story, so who knows what will happen. And that was my review on the Sonic films. So what am I planning next? Well, I would like to talk about Creature Commandos next. I've had that in the works for a while. And I want to talk about the new show Batman. Well, I say new, but it's been out for a little bit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.